Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for another episode of The Rise, apparently. So I intended to have a one-shot set in the Gods of the Fall setting that we run a campaign here for once a month, but all of the players who volunteered for that one-shot are the players of that campaign. So, rather than have them make 4 arbitrary characters, we are just going to play that campaign. And it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time for everybody involved. So, yeah, we're here for The Rise. If you guys like what we do here, you like the shit we do on this channel, Patreon. That's what this show is. This is part of our Patreon campaign. The last one was part of our Patreon one-shots. So Patreon is the best way to support this channel and the things we do here. Link for that down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, you will see the corruption bar in the bottom right-hand corner that is inaccurate and needs to be fixed. But as soon as I fix that, that bar serves 2 purposes. One is when that bar fills, I submit all of my players to torture, to some narratively enhanced torture. And 2, every single dollar that goes back into that bar goes back to this channel for all kinds of cool things, such as artwork, hiring gnomes to do my job for me, and, you know, things like that. So if you guys want to support the channel, the second best way to do so is in that bar. Whew. With that, previously on The Rise. It's weird to have that after a one-shot. Previously on The Rise, we had entered into Sia's tavern, or Sia's wayhouse, where there was a bit of a kerfuffle, wouldn't you say, G? Where Antarius was presented with a indulgence from the Queen of the Nightlands herself, hunting down someone who looked a whole lot like Antarius, claiming that she was her daughter, and a hefty price of 10,000 moons was placed upon her head, alive, preferably. This led to some conversations between our caravan owners, guards, drivers, etc., nearly a fight, and a discussion between Antarius, Seydlitz, and Sia, the owner of the roadhouse. A few more reveals happened, to include the name drop of a woman named Rhea, who's traveling with a man named Telbin, all seemingly somehow relevant to other people's backstories. We're not entirely sure how. And drunken revelry and the spreading of rumors. So, we open in a tavern inside of Sia's wayhouse on episode 15, City of Light, where Sia beamishly comes out of the back door of her establishment, looks at Chorus, slaps her hand down on the table, and says, "Rhea! That was her name. That's who's traveling with Telbin. That's it." And she looks quite proud of herself.
I've never met a Rhea. Do you know where she came from?
Telbin had said she was from the RuneScape, such as yourself. I didn't...
I mean, the RuneScape's pretty big.
Well, it is. Well, not the Verge, but the RuneScape. I didn't ask, honestly.
He probably wouldn't have told you, and even if you did.
It didn't seem relevant.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And they were heading towards Corso? Or out?
Actually, I saw them on their way out.
Oh, to Samora?
Yeah, weeks ago.
I mean, unless he's heading out into the RuneScape, we may bump into him there. He doesn't generally stay in one place for too long, but...
That is true. But I have your message for him, so if I see him before you do, I will be sure to give it to him.
I mean, to be fair, you probably will.
That's true.
Yeah.
In the background, you can hear Mina just choking, coughing in the background, kind of spluttering away. And you notice he quickly stands up and starts walking towards the counter where Corax is, in the most forced casual walk that you've ever seen anyone. And he just gets to the bar, and his eyes are watery for some reason. And he just looks at Sia and says, "Have you got anything stronger?"
I do. And she like reaches down, and you can hear that like stone on stone noise as she reaches down and pulls out a bottle and boom, takes the cork out, and grabs a little glass and like a little mug and pours you some of that. It's 2 fingers of a strangely brown liquid. It's not like dark brown like a whiskey, but it's definitely like light brown. Like it's very translucent, but a little light brown. And she hands it to you and slides it across and says, "Are you okay?"
And Mina just holds up one finger, grabs the glass, downs the drink, puts it down. Yeah. It's a great. It's an impressive cleft you have here.
Thank you. I made it myself.
Way station, Mina.
Yes, Corax is good with words.
Are you?
Thinking Cherries is just staring at Mina because he's acting really weird over like the top of her mug, and she's just like.
Yeah,
Slurping.
Seydlitz is giving that same side eye of, wait a minute, I didn't know he drank.
Are you okay, young man?
I couldn't help overhearing. I wasn't eavesdropping. I was just, you said it very loud. You have big lungs and a
Thank
big
you.
voice. You said someone named Raya had come through here?
Yes, a young woman named Rhea. She was traveling with young Corax's companion, Telbin.
Oh, yeah, I know of a Raya. Did she give you a last name or?
She didn't, and I didn't think to ask. She did mention that she was looking for family. She's trying to find a family member.
Oh, what did she look? How did she look?
You see that like Sia's like beaming smile sort of drops a little bit, and she says, "Oh, are you her relative?"
Well, I have a twin sister named Raya, but
Oh.
I guess Raya could be someone else's name. Seems highly coincidental.
Well, I will hope that it's a different Raya. She did not seem very happy to be looking for her relative.
Did she look like Mina? They're twins.
We're not identical.
I mean, I guess they kind of have similarities.
She kind of a couple of inches shorter than me, dark hair. Even though you're taller than her, she feels like she's looking down on you.
Oh. And she like reaches a big hand out to your shoulders. "Oh, honey." And you can like feel the weight of her hand on your shoulder as she apologizes for seemingly no reason. She says, well, maybe she's already left Samora."
She was supposed to stay in Dawnsfall. And he'll look at Corax and say, "Who's this Telbin she's traveling with? Do you know him?"
What? Why was she supposed to be in Dawnsfall?
That's where I left her and told her to stay there when I left. I mean, it was over a year ago, so she's pretty willful. To be honest, I'd be surprised if she stayed there any longer than a couple of days after I left. But
why Dawnsfall?
we were staying there for a while. Our parents asked us to. I've got an auntie there, Auntie Tissa, and we were just staying with her for a while.
Mike, I'm
Yes.
assuming Corax knows who that Auntie Tissa is.
You absolutely know a Tissa that lives in town.
Yeah, I specifically left home because I didn't want to bring problems on my town of Dawnsfall, or village. It's not really a town, it's a bit small for that. And then you brought trouble when I left. and left your sister there?
I
It
didn't
sounds like
bring-
trouble.
I didn't bring trouble. We went there to live. It was a bit quiet, boring.
Yes, very.
And then I thought I better go, and told Raya to stay because she's the trouble magnet, not me.
Oh, great. So, was the village still there when you left? My parents.
I
Dead?
mean, most of it. There may have been some damage from the attack.
Attack?
You hear Terrace cough into her mouth.
Was that
Yeah,
your doing? And he looks at Antares.
You talking to me?
Yes. Attacks on a little village.
And she just we just don't attack towns for no reason. And
I mean,
she
it could have been a shit reason. And he looks back to
and goes back into her cup.
no, it was Nafar, not
Not Antares.
unless the Nafar work for the Dragon, of course. And Mina will look over at Antares. Does the Dragon of Corso employ Nafar to attack towns?
Sorry, what are Nafar?
Goblins.
Nafar are non-civilized humanoids. So monsters, goblinoids, bugbear, things like that. The nefarious creatures that live in the forest. The humanoid races that are civilized are the snake people, and the big scary beast people, and then humans.
Okay. I guess if she wants something, like some kind of menial task done,
Yeah,
I mean,
something a little lowbrow.
I don't know what they were trying to achieve. The mayor guy kind of said everyone just hide and let them do whatever they need to do, and they'll go away.
That makes sense. That's kind of why I had to leave. I didn't want trouble following me.
Yeah, same.
Well, this means I'm going to have to go home, but I don't want to go home. As you've said, it's pretty boring there.
But this Telbin guy,
Yeah.
does he have an MO of picking up youngish people and traveling around the countryside with them?
Corex looks to see her. Apparently, I met him. And we traveled for a while together, but I went with him because there was an opportunity to learn magic and improve my own abilities. But I don't know why he would pick up your sister. I suppose, unless it's hereditary.
Where, what?
The whole divinity thing. He says far too loud in the bar.
Oh God, no.
She looks in between the two of them as they're speaking.
So, what do you do with this Telbin guy? You just travel with him?
You know how you said I wasn't a very good salesman? He was. So I used to sit in the back of his wagon thing, read the books that he had. He'd teach me how to do magic. And then I thought I ran out of things to learn from him, so I left in Corso.
And then he replaced you with the angriest girl in the world.
Sounds like a downgrade.
I'm sure he's regretting that decision as much as he regrets letting you go.
I mean, he didn't really have much of a choice when you borrow one of his good books and disappear into the night in Corso.
You just borrowed a book from him? That doesn't sound
Legal?
upsetting. Well, I mean, you said you just borrowed it.
But don't plan on giving it back. It's the one that, and he looks around at the bar, realizing how many people are still in here. You know, the one that we wrote in before and things happened.
Oh, the Book of Fate.
This is why Korak says out like this.
Do you
is why
have
don't
to
tell
say
me
that
this.
aloud?
I don't have to write the campaign anymore. It just writes itself.
Puts his head into his
Yeah.
hands. Yes. You know.
And
You guys
Mina just
don't.
quickly goes, "Oh, you mean the Book of Fate?"
Yes.
You guys
you
don't
know.
even need me to cause trouble anymore. Do that all on your own.
I mean, you had.
Thought we had already figured that out, Antares.
If Antares and Korax are respectively the gods and goddesses of shade, then Mina is the god of neon signs.
Eat a chose.
Godling. Illegal
Ask
book
me
owner.
how.
Yes, Mina, that one.
And
Not
you
the type
got,
of book that you just leave behind when you are interested in finding out about the world.
and not the kind of book you'd be happy that someone stole from you.
I mean, he look. Sia didn't say that he was upset about the fact that he lost the book.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he lost the book and replaced it with my evil twin.
Is she as evil as you are honest?
No, she's. I mean, we travel with Antares, so
She turns in her seat and like the chair creaks. She looks as if she's like, "What? Finish your sentence."
and Mina quickly looks at Sia and said, I think I need another. This is a lot.
Blub, 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 blub. And she puts it down, and she is
She's listening.
raptly
to this
listening to this. Yeah.
Seydlitz cuts him off
Oh.
and grabs the drink away from the bar and is like, no, you don't.
Well, if she's as miserable as you say, then maybe this Taliban guy will get her out of your hair.
Maybe, but it sounds like she's looking for family, and I guess I fit that bill.
Family comes in many shapes.
Yeah, that's true. But given the luck we've already had on this trip, I'm gonna guess she's looking for me.
Okay, so she's gonna get up and walk over to the bar and like sit down next to him. Okay, so what? Who cares? What if she finds you? What's she gonna do? Kill you? That might be
I
fun
mean-
for her to try.
I mean, she used to beat me up a lot, but she never killed me.
She's your twin. Is she an older sister? That just seems like a
No, we're the same age. She's
Mm.
a fraction older.
That's all it takes. My sister used to beat me up.
See, and you know, that's. I don't need to go through that again. That's maybe we should try to track them down? Do you think they'd be in Dawn's Fall?
I mean, he could go there. So I was with him for a while, and we did travel a lot of the RuneScape, but didn't really hit Dawn's Fall all that often.
Well, I guess priorities, right? Let's survive to Samora first and worry about impending doom later.
Haven't we been doing that already?
And it's worked for us so far.
But on a scale of 1 to Seydlitz, how grumpy is she?
Seydlitz just stares at you at that comment. Like, really?
I mean, it's less of a grumpy for grumpy's sake, like Seydlitz, more of a grumpy because I haven't worked out how to kill you and get away with it yet. Grumpy.
Ooh, and he looks at Antares. Don't let her talk to Antares.
Yeah,
She has a humorless smile.
you know how when two people are similar, everyone says, "Oh, they'll really get along," and when they actually meet, they actually hate each other. I kind of think that will happen with Antares.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I'd pay to watch that.
She just scoffs.
You two
I
are
don't.
the worst gossiping behind people's backs.
I don't want to overstep here. This seems like you're having a moment. Should let you know that Korex's circumstances are not unusual. Most of Telbin's companions don't stay with him for too long.
What does that mean? Is he like a mentor or something? A teacher?
Sometimes, depends what you need.
He was
Is
for
he
me.
is he that annoying?
Who, Telbin or Korax?
I mean,
I've always found him
Both.
quite enjoyable. He's an older gentleman, older than him.
From what
And,
I've learned, Korax is not really a people person. So
I'm a very good salesman.
he's probably the most people person we've got, to be honest.
He seems very nice.
See?
I think she's talking about Telban.
No, I'm talking about
Oh.
Korax. He seems pretty nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I like Telbin.
See?
He's just an interesting older gentleman.
Interesting is a good word for it.
And he just travels around with young wards doing.
Sometimes. He doesn't just travel, he's a salesman.
What does he sell?
Everything.
You'll find a load of things in the back
He's
of that wagon.
Is he like trading? Is he selling kids for money? Is he a slave? Slaver?
Oh no, God no. He's just he sells things. Like if you need it, he will probably have it. He's very good at finding things.
So he's kind of like an antiquator.
Yeah, he's kind of like an antiquator.
She glances at Korax.
I mean, I was trying to think of the word, and I don't know if this exists in Gods of the Fall, but a tinker, they've got loads of random things in their cart that they picked up along the way that could be valuable, it could be
Like
trash.
a junk dealer.
He's like a yard sale on
Sometimes.
wheels.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
I mean, sometimes you got really valuable things in the cart. It depends on what the people that you bump into want to sell, or died within their pockets that happens to be lying on the side of the road.
I'm still confused. Is he killing people for these things?
No. I mean, he's
Does
like
it matter?
3 times Seydlitz's age. I mean, Seydlitz can kill people, but
Maybe he just wants the companionship.
As far as I've seen, they're all, and she like kind of like looks at Corex for confirmation. They're all treated fairly well. I've never seen anyone complain about traveling, and it's always their choice. And it's always their choice to leave.
yeah, he never like realistically, if he didn't want me to leave, he probably could have stopped me, but I just walked off.
And you just happen to take a certain thing with you.
Look,
and didn't
if you're
pay
gonna
him
go-
for it.
No, what? It was the
Well,
best
no.
book in the whole cart.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. But if he sells things, most likely he knew what that was, or at least it had some value to it. He wouldn't just let it out of his sight, and he just let you walk out with it.
I don't deny that he knew what it was. I mean, I went with him specifically to learn magic.
Hmm.
It's a book from, and he looks around again, the old ways.
And did he teach you magic?
He taught me to better control what I have. I mean, previously, everything that I've been able to do was reactionary rather than purposeful. Whereas now I can at least choose to do it. So in a way, yes.
I can't fathom anyone choosing to travel with my sister. I had no choice.
Because family will always have those feelings. It's just the fun of having siblings.
Believe it or not, Mina, there are probably a lot of people who enjoy your sister's company.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm the charming one.
Doesn't mean that whatever she's putting down, somebody's picking it up.
Gross.
Trust me.
Don't say that about my sister. That just.
She shrugs. Is she good, attractive at least?
No, she's my sister.
That's a bit harsh to say
sorry.
about your sister.
Wrong person to ask. Sorry.
I mean, Sia saw her. She's.
Yes. Sia, you saw her.
She seems like a bright young lady.
Okay.
Then we can't be talking about the same person.
Talbin does teach you a lot of things.
Then I'm sure
Who
it's
knows?
nothing. We'll
If
just
Kelvin
continue
teaches a
on
lot,
to
maybe
Samora.
she'll like you when she gets back.
Oh.
What?
Sorry, that was involuntary. If you're the relative she's looking for, I don't think that's the case.
Okay. So, and she leans in kind of conspiratorially. What did you do? And she's not looking at Sia, but she motions to Sia to refill his glass.
She nods and blah 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 blah.
Seydlitz has already stolen away the glass.
She's the tavern owner. She puts another one there.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
And she'll lean in
Yes,
like
yeah.
close to me, like, what did you do?
I didn't
to
do
piss her
anything.
off?
After the attack on Dawn's Fall,
Mhm.
I was asked to leave.
She
So
hands
I
him the
left.
shot.
And I told her to stay because there was no point in her leaving with me.
So why did they ask you to leave if the Nefarim, is that what they're called?
Nafar.
Far.
Nefar. Why would they ask you to leave after a Nefar attack? Drink up.
It's look, it's complicated.
Did you cause it?
did not cause any attacks. And he downs that next drink. It was happening, and I chose to defend the town, even though we'd been told not to, and they may have vowed to come back and destroy the town and hunt my family down and kill them.
Oh, so you were you. And she pats him very firmly on the knee.
Mina looks very awkward at that and quickly puts the glass back to Sia. Well, that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it would be I had the ability to intercede, and I did, despite being told not to.
Yeah,
Yes.
they don't like it when you do that.
They were quite upset when I killed their leader, and one of his lieutenants or whatever said that they would come back to the town, burn it to the ground, and then hunt down and kill the rest of my family.
Yeah.
But burn my home
We
to the
say that
ground.
all the time. How about we celebrate this fantastic victory
Well-
that you had? And she motions again.
Well,
to
that's
Sia.
what I said, but then things happened, and the best thing for me to do was leave.
Is that going to save your town?
No.
The mayor specifically told me to go, and I went. The mayor's kind of a douche, and he'll look
Yes.
at Corax for confirmation.
Corax is nuts. Sia, have you
So-
heard anything about Dawn's Fall getting burnt to the ground? Because clearly, and he motions to the fact that she's sitting there at the bar with them. Clearly, you hear a lot of conversations.
We don't often get people from beyond Samora, outside of Telvin's travelers. And Rhea didn't say anything about where she was from or why she was hunting her family, looking for her family.
Mhm.
And she... Blah, 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 blah.
Can
Goodness.
I see if she's lying?
You can roll me an intellect difficulty 3. If you have any like discerning lies, you can
No.
plug that on there.
No, all my skills are fighting. Oh, success.
You can tell she had a slip of the tongue there. She's not lying about her not talking about it, but looking for was less than accurate.
Well, what do you want to do, Mina? She really wants to find you.
I think we have to get to Samora first. Maybe she'll be there, and I'll meet her somewhere with lots of the town guard around.
Listen, everybody, why don't we just call it a night?
She looks at Seydlitz and looks at Corax, then looks at Mina. And then she gets like this very she's her demeanor kind of turns serious again as per normal, like she's kind of sobered up, and she stands really close to Mina and like speaks quietly to him. The others can hear, but she's not projecting her voice at all. No bullshit, Mina. Is she really gonna attack you when she finds you?
That does seem like an exaggeration, but she's capable of it.
She's mad enough to fly off the handle and try attacking you?
seen when she gets angry, and it it might happen. I don't know what she's angry about, so it probably depends on the scale of whatever fantasy she's come up with that I'm supposedly responsible for, because
Well,
Uh,
like, what if that threat came true? What if worst case scenario?
I don't think she'd care enough about the people of Dawn's Fall to want to avenge them. She's
Okay.
really not the avenging type.
Okay, so it's not like you had family there other than her.
Oh, I mean, Auntie Tiss is not really family. She's more of a friend of family.
So there's no one there of worth.
Thanks.
Well,
And she looks at Korak. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I'm. It's hard to say.
No one of
I
worth
don't
to
know.
her.
Not
She
that
then
I'm
she looks
aware
at
of.
Korax and nods.
We didn't even really know anyone there other than Auntie Tiss. Like, we got to know people when we got there, but my sister's not a chummy kind of person.
Oh.
You know, she will. I could say yes. You know, I have dreamt that she's tried to kill me, and she's told me that she's dreamt of trying to kill me. But
Right then. So if that does come to pass,
I mean, I have dreams all the time. Doesn't mean anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
you did dream that you were visiting the King of Nod. That meant something.
I don't think that was a dream. I think that was actually.
But you were with
Yeah.
us. We saw you, like, sleeping for 3 days.
That was my body. I think I was there in another aspect.
well, I'll just come right out and say it. If this woman, the sister of yours, shows up and tries to, and she leans in closer to Mina and like almost like breathing in his ear, kill the redeemer of the afterworld, I will stop her. And then she claps him heavily on the shoulder and she walks away, walks past him, and then starts heading towards like her room, whatever Sia has got them ready for.
Mina will look at Corex and say, I think she meant that to be reassuring, but it kind of wasn't.
I mean, I can stop her stabbing you if you want, but I can't stop
My
her
sister
slapping
or
you.
Antares?
Either one.
What if they're both trying to do
One.
it at the same time? Can you stop them both?
No, you're gonna have to deal with one. But so you've got a family member that wants to kill you, and Terry's, who's walking off, has got a family member that wants to kill her, and Seydlitz, is your family all right? I mean, Fernand is not exactly someone you need to worry about.
Can't really know for sure until we get to some more, because that's where they are. I hope they're all right. I assume they're all right if Fernand's still here.
But they're not going to try and kill you.
My family, no.
Okay. So at least 50% of us are okay from our family.
But this Telbin guy's not going to be trouble, considering you borrowed one of his most prized possessions.
I don't know if it was prized, but it was one of his possessions. I mean, worst case, I give it back and go, here's your book. Sorry, I'd wrote in it. But he doesn't seem that type.
You wrote in it?
Korax looks sheepishly at her. Maybe.
What did you write in it?
About the King of Nod not following us.
What happened?
We're not sure, but the King of Nod couldn't find us. And then he took Mina for 3 days.
Roll deception. Roll
That's not
intelligence.
deception. That's all.
You are absolutely leaving something out of that story. Whether you intended to do it or not, you absolutely left out something that is absolutely what something that would be answered in that question. So roll me intelligence difficulty 3 deception. Do you have any inabilities for deception?
No.
Okay.
Inabilities. No inabilities.
Okay.
Difficulty 3. Please fail. I want to fail this.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Yeah, she's oh well.
as for failure, crits it anyway.
That's very interesting. Did you really meet with the King of Nod?
Yeah. Just I was in Nod, and I felt compelled to go see his castle, and he was there. Said something about hunting us, chasing after the baby, and that he was enjoying watching us kind of run around.
And she looks at the three of you. Have you managed to piss everyone off?
Pretty much.
I don't think we specifically pissed off Nulumriel. That wasn't Terry's.
I meant you as a whole, all four of you collectively.
Korax, what's the list again?
Well,
It might be quicker if we list who's not chasing us.
Fair enough.
I mean, we did burn down a tavern in Corso, so potentially Nulumriel's pissed off with us too. Or was the docks? Tavern in the docks. And the docks?
No,
I
we
don't
didn't
know.
burn the docks.
There was fire
Lots of
in
fire.
Corso, and a keep blew up, which killed an angel.
I heard about that. I heard about the keep.
Yeah, Mina blew up an angel.
Wasn't my idea.
He still did it. There was night wolves, potentially the night beast. That's going to be fun. The final clave. They're after us too. Apparently they're back.
Oh, and you really pissed off those slavers in Laredo,
Oh, and the
but I
slavers.
guess we killed them. So
Well, I mean, Castman is not going to be happy that a bunch of their slavers were killed, and there was that purple smoke that went back to Corso.
What after that?
And all this in the how long since you left Telbin?
Oh, since I left Telbin? 6 months?
It took you 6 months to do all that.
No, it's taken us 3 weeks to do all that.
Glug, 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 glug.
And part of that we were walking from
it just
Corso.
happened to be in the way.
Oh, and the death cult. There was the death cult.
the casual death cult.
Casual death cult.
Are they
according to
really
Thurs.
casual?
And Terry seemed to believe they were casual.
Oh, and Terry's killed the reconciliator.
That's
What?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Well,
So glad I left the room.
thanks for not bringing that here.
You're welcome. From what I've seen, you'll be fine.
Probably, but still, that's a lot.
It's why we're trying to get out of the Nightlands.
I don't know where you can run far enough.
I mean, the sun. Avi's light would be a blessing. Hopefully, the King of Nod's not going to get us there. Don't know, whereas
that just takes one off the board. She just
The night
pours,
will, so not,
she
we're not
pours
overly
you
worried
a
about it.
drink as well.
The bottle's empty now.
It was fresh when
It's like the-
when
The
Mina
glass
came
just only
over.
fills halfway up, and then it fills up, and then bloop.
Yep. Well, I am impressed you're all still alive.
So are we.
To be fair, I would probably be dead if it wasn't for the others. Just saying. I don't really fight. That's not my thing.
I can see that.
And he pushes in on his cloak to show how skinny he is. Yeah.
Scrunches in.
See a few books in the fold.
Have it's very rare that I'm at a loss for words. 3 weeks.
Give or take.
That is-
still struggle to tell time here in the Nightlands.
That is so much chaos in 3 weeks. And I didn't ask before, and if I'm being too curious, please stop me. What are you going to Samora for, other than getting out of the moonlight?
Korax looks across at Seydlitz and Mina.
From what I understand, we're going there because it's late. I forget her name off the top of my head. But the
Stephanie.
child,
Oh, Aru.
Stephanie.
Stephanie. We're going there because Stephanie has relatives there for her to protect her kid. The kid is rather important, it seems.
Can I ask why?
Children are always worth protecting. Korax offers his usual excuse.
Sure. But why you four? And if you're saying that all that chaos was caused to protect that kid, that's a lot.
Because Dreshen told us we had to protect her.
Can I ask
Chaos
why?
wasn't really all to protect the kid. It just kind of happened as we were moving.
Because she's afflicted like we all are.
Huh. 5 of you.
I mean, not everything was our fault. I mean, the fire was. That was definitely our fault. And the blowing up of the keep was our fault.
Sounds like a lot of it was.
The slavers, that wasn't our fault. They came into the town and tried to take people, and that's just not fair.
That's
And
what they do.
Mina wouldn't let them do it, and he was right.
So that was your fault.
I mean,
Oh, hey, we wouldn't have met
we-
in Terry's if that we
exactly.
hadn't
We
stopped them.
saved Interiors doing that, so it's
Big
a
drag.
lose-lose situation either way.
The dragon would have had her back. We couldn't have that happen.
Oh, shots fired across the bow. She looks to you and she's just like, it's story time, and you guys have her completely enamored. And what happens when you bring the godchild to Samora?
Then it's not my problem anymore.
We don't know.
Hopefully
We just know we were
she's
supposed to get
safe.
there.
And now it sounds like we're going maybe to Dawn's Fall. Maybe.
Wow.
Unless
You
I get
guys-
news, I'm gonna have to.
Have no idea what's happening. You're just going along, huh?
Isn't that what life is?
Yeah, for
stumble
normal
along.
people, yeah, but usually you find purpose, and you guys are you're just bumping along down the trail. That's so interesting. Oh wow, I'm just so curious. This is like, it's like I'm reading a novel, and she like looks at Korax, but it's not done yet. What?
That's what we thought about the book,
Which book?
the one I wrote in.
You thought it wasn't done being written.
Yeah, because only little bits of it got writing, and there's lots of blank pages.
I haven't seen one.
Corax looks around. How many people are still in the bar, Mike?
There's probably like 5 or 6 people in the bar still, and they look pretty trashed.
Yeah, I guess Cork wants to rip it out.
Corax has got story
Fun of
time with
everybody.
books. He
You have,
pulls
if
out the
you're
book
gonna
of fate.
bring that out, Corax, maybe we should find a back room.
They're drunk.
It doesn't matter. You never know who could be watching.
I mean, I think we've said a lot more than worrying about the book. And he pulls the book out, places it on the counter, flips it around so she can see, and opens it up to one of the prophecies. I try to remember which one it was. It was the one that Corax wrote in.
You wrote in several of them, I think.
Just the one he
Salvation.
wrote in.
Restoration.
I think it was Liberation. Backstory. Where is it?
You wrote in Liberation.
Yeah, he opens it to the Book of Liberation, opens it up, shows like the writing to her of the prophecy, and just flicks through all the blank pages, flicking past his writing. Is, oh, I wrote that. And then he just flicks through. It's just all these empty pages. It looks like the story hasn't finished yet.
And after he wrote that, the King of Nod said he couldn't find us.
We don't know if it's related though.
That's
Felt like it.
very interesting.
Do you not have one of these?
I don't have one of them. Why would I have one?
Corax thinks long and hard. A person we met along the road kind of indicated that there's lots of these, and it could potentially be held by people like us.
You only have one, and there's 5 of you. And I've
I
never
mean, the rest
seen
of
one.
them didn't believe in the gods, so that kind of makes sense.
I mean, it's hard not. They died. I don't know what there's not to believe in.
Are they dead though? I mean, I prayed to the gods and things happen.
Does it?
It feels like it.
Yeah, he does it at the worst possible time too. You know, you're fighting someone and he starts praying.
Like, I can show you, if you try punch Mina, I can stop you punching him by asking the gods to stop you from punching him.
No, he, and she like looks over at Mina and Seydlitz. He knows that he, and she like points to the top of your head.
I don't think he's praying to himself.
Mm-mm.
What if he is though?
That's what I was asking you earlier. Like, how do you do it?
Pray to me, pray to me.
So, does someone want to try and punch Mina, and then I'll pray to Mina and see if I can stop you from punching Mina?
And Mina just
Like, I can't
presents
stop
his
you
chin.
doing things, but I can stop you from hitting someone.
He'll look at Mina. Will look at both Seydlitz and Zia and kind of present his chin.
Sia is enough shots in that she cocks back this big fist. This is like she's got
Seydlitz is not doing it.
a mighty fist. She reaches
you're
back
so
and
glad
she
that
and
Terry
she
wasn't
looks
there.
at she looks at Corax for like, you tell me when.
He nods, does his blessings of the gods, and prevent a foe that can hear or understand you from attacking anyone for 1 round.
So, Corax, what does a prayer to Mina sound like?
Very odd. He's used to praying to a god that he knows is real. In his mind, he knows they're real.
Mhm.
He doesn't know that Mina is a real god. So I think it's a bit of a fumbled prayer along the same lines as the ones to the gods, requesting their aid. So does Avi protect this person. Now, in this case, it's Mina protect this person from attack, an unlawful attack.
Okay. I will
Leads with
switch.
conviction.
The fist flies forward, and as it stops, mere inches from your face, Mina, what does it look like when it stops?
So as it comes towards Mina's nimbus
Mhm.
flares up, and the light from the nimbus surrounds him and Corax.
Okay. And you see this light extend around the two of you, and the fist just stops. And you see her like look at it, and then look at the two of you, and then she like knuckles into it to try to like force it through. And you can see that she's making some headway. And then you see her like grip the bar top, this stone bar top, and her fingers sink into the stone as if she's like pulling with the rest of her force. And you can hear like the of her feet digging into the stone floor as she forces her hand more and more into this like force field before she's like, boom, and it's like retracted backwards. And she goes, "Wow, that worked."
Is see, and that's just asking gods. I mean, told you the gods must be real. Then
You
If I
asked
can bring
Mina.
in Mina.
You said Mina.
Yeah, but Mina's got
I mean, I've never done that before, but that was cool.
That was cool. I've never punched a god before. I mean, I guess I still haven't, yeah, but I'd never tried to before, so it's a new situation. Huh.
So this must mean the gods are real. See, Avi is real. He provides us light.
Well, the sun is real, but I think, like the physical, I think they're dead.
I don't think they
We're
are.
real.
Yeah, I that's what I think. I think you're. I don't think. I don't know how to say this in a way that you're gonna understand. I think like heaven. It fell. Like we know that. That's a we have
Yeah.
that's and then they all died. And I think. And she like motions. This is the first time she like motions and includes herself in it. You're praying to.
So, do you think it makes a difference on how powerful the god is?
Which one? The what you or the one you're praying to?
The one I'm praying to, because then they could offer more help if they're more powerful, right?
I guess, but you'd have to know who it was.
Well, like this time I called Mina. We know that it worked from Mina.
But
Right, but you-
also, I was here, so I could hear it. Maybe if they
That's
can't
true.
hear you.
You'd have to know, like when you prayed before, you prayed to Avi. So you'd have to know the god you were praying to. If you don't know who they are, I think it's just like a generic.
Anyone answers?
Yeah. So if you want to
Hmm.
pray to a specifically powerful one, you'd have to know who that is.
Well, Mina said that the king of Nod had lots of and he just motions above his head. Does that mean he's like really powerful? Well, he is. He controls the moon. I could try praying to the king of Nod sometime. Oh, hold on. That might not be a good idea.
He might not want to help you. Like, I wouldn't let you try to protect me if you were praying to Antares. I'm sure she'd let Sia punch me.
We could try that again. That's
Um,
a good test because Antares would
Yeah,
probably punch
let's
you.
do that.
You see that
She's not bad.
Sia's face changes, and she leans in really close to you guys and says, Did you say that the King of Nod had a nimbus?
He had a few.
How many is a
Like
few?
he was like a peacock. It was like dozen at least.
She does not look to be enjoying this conversation anymore. Have you told anyone that?
I'd be surprised if we hadn't, but I can't remember when we didn't. We did.
We spoke about it in the tavern in Old Nemera. So if anyone was eavesdropping, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if we've told anyone specifically.
No.
I've
no, I
never.
remember, unless you...
Like the mushroom guy in Laredo, I don't remember telling him he had nimbuses. I told him a
Oh, the
lot,
guy who
but
loved his bathrobes.
that's the one.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who has multiple. I've never met anyone.
I can make you a potion if you want to meet the King of Nod.
I'd rather not. I'll be honest, I haven't heard great things about him, and if he's like you,
Yeah, I don't want to go back and meet him. That's fair.
Well, and she like picks up the empty bottle and like places it under the shelf and grabs all the empty cups. I wish you luck on your future endeavors. And I hope that you remain alive. And I'm very interested to hear about what happens. But I think I will retire.
Thanks for the drinks.
Absolutely. And she like reaches out and like kind of pats Mina a little bit, like sadly. And then she does the same thing to Korax's opposite side. And she says, I will be retiring for the night. You have sleep wherever you'd like. Have a good night, gentlemen. And you see her like take a couple steps backwards and then turns and walks into that kitchen room, leaving you all in the tavern.
Mina's definitely a bit tipsy at this point, so he'll kind of just say goodnight and head off to whatever room Stephanie and Arua are in.
Okay. You do
Terrence had
so.
already left.
Yeah, and Terrius was up in his room. You depart as well. Korax, Seydlitz, you are the last two of your group in the tavern. What are you guys doing?
I wonder when all this trouble is going to come back to bite us, Korax.
I'm assuming when we get to Samara.
You're assuming that when we get just on the other side of this pass, that's when all the trouble is going to come tumbling down. That doesn't bode well.
I mean, some of it is. There's reconciliators who've gone past, and she said there was a bunch of them.
Maybe I shouldn't think about it. Well,
It's easier
we've
if you
got a
don't.
long journey tomorrow. I'm gonna go get some sleep.
He
Say,
tips
let's
an
get
imaginary
up,
hat.
and he walks out. He's gonna just go look for a room, see if he can find an empty one.
Okay, you do. You find one. Korax, what about you?
Korax finds a quiet corner and starts digging through his books. He would do that for a little while before heading off and finding somewhere to sleep.
Any book in particular?
He would probably spend more time on the Grimoire of Dreams because he placed the new medallion as a bookmarker in it.
Cool. Yeah. So you dig into that. There seems to be no changes. The placing the medallion in was only done a few hours ago, I think. So yeah, there's been no change to that. But you dig through that book, trying to discern as much information as you possibly can out of it before you drift off to Dreamland. Not literally in this case, but figuratively. The morning comes and all of you awake, feeling fresh as a daisy. There are no hangovers to be had in the care of Sia. You all wake up as if you hadn't had a single drink the night before. You are ready to go, refreshed, and you feel exhilarated for the day ahead. You hear noise outside from the sounds of packing, the sounds of donning and doffing armor and clothing, and everyone seems to be preparing for the day. Mina, you are obviously awoken to the sound of a crying baby, as is, fairly normal for you. And you all make your way down to the roadhouse proper, where Sia has tables, which were originally 4-top tables, are now like long cafeteria style benches, like Harry Potter is the only thing I can think of, like those long benches, and food is on them, enough food for the entire caravan, and it looks like a very hearty breakfast, complete with all of your important food groups. She beams at you as you come down the stairs, and she says, "Good morning. How are you all feeling today?"
Fine.
Great. I enjoyed our conversation last night. I wish you all the best of luck.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for the entertainment and not hitting me.
Thank you for the entertainment, and I will hit you anytime you'll let me.
And Mina will blush at that and quickly escape outside.
Of course you will. Perfect. What are the rest of you doing as you see him turn beet red and run outside?
Seydlitz comes in with just a morning yawn and looks around. He's looking for breakfast.
There's plenty of it on the tables.
I wonder how Fernand's feeling now.
You can hear his voice outside, ordering things to be loaded onto carts. He sounds as exuberant as ever.
She's gonna look to see where Stephanie and Dresden and Aurora are.
They're sitting out at a table eating.
Okay. I think for a moment, like she kind of has forgotten everything that has happened yesterday, just for like a split, and just for a minute. So she would get her food and she would go sit down next to them. Morning. And she would sit down casually next to them
Good morning.
to start eating. Did you sleep well? She says through her mouthful of food.
I did. And the baby as well.
Good.
Do you need help with anything?
Me? No. I'm good. And then she kind of remembers.
You barely talked to us.
I talk to you.
Not really. You talked to us one time in Laredo, and then you tried to talk to me in the bath.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
You and Seydlitz and Korax don't really hang out with us a lot. I'm not upset about it. I thought you might have needed something.
No.
Oh.
Wanted to see how you were.
Oh.
And she kind of feels like she turns red there because she remembers like helping them, like she got them the wheelbarrow. That was a pretty,
and then
pretty
threw the wheelbarrow away.
Yeah, but it's like she helped. It's like she's been helping them, like she helped her in like the bath and like helped her with the baby, and like she felt like she's been doing all these like things for them.
Yeah,
Now she's confused.
The outside perspective is you have done those things, but you're Antares about it. So it was like, I found a wheelbarrow for you. She was like, okay, thank you so much. I didn't. Okay, scary lady, I'll get in the wheelbarrow. Come in the bath with me. Okay, we've been on the road for a long time. That's fine. So everything's been as warm as Antares can be about it. But Antares' warmth is surly for most people, I feel like. She's still working on it. So she looks to you and she says, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm doing well. I slept quite well here. And Arua slept quite well as well. We slept through the whole night, which is new for her. So I think it's here. I think it's being here. How are you?
I don't know. I feel okay, I guess.
That's good. I heard that, I was told there was a lot of conversation yesterday.
Yeah, there was lots of talking. Just to be clear, she was standing right there when she had that conversation with Mina outside, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, like, she wasn't here for drinking.
Yeah.
So you guys were just sort of divulging all of your secrets to a drunk crowd of guards.
Yeah, there was, alcohol involved, and the boys like to run their mouths a little bit, and yeah. But I feel good despite all the alcohol I was drinking.
I think it's this place.
Yeah, I agree. And she kind of leans over to Dresden and checks him out.
I'm also well.
Good. You slept okay?
Yes. He doesn't look uncomfortable. Like, Stephanie looked uncomfortable at first. Dresden looks afraid, still. But he has that every time anyone tells him what to do. So he looks to you and says, I did sleep well. I slept on the floor. And Mina was there also. And I'm fine. Thank you.
You slept on the floor?
Yes, I sleep. I usually sleep on the floor. The bed goes to Stephanie and the child.
Makes sense.
Usually we're in the same room because there's not enough rooms, and it's just habit at this point. I think they just put us together so that they think I won't cause any problems.
I don't think you'll cause any problems. Well, make sure you start getting your own bed from now on.
Okay.
Anyway, and she puts her arm around her plate and goes back to eating.
He looks over
Good
at
food.
He looks over at Stephanie, and Stephanie looks over at him, and then Stephanie turns back to you and says, "Dear, are you okay?" And she reaches a hand out and places a matronly hand on your your arm is in front of the thing, and she places it on your on your arm. Is there something you need to talk about?
No.
We're here, or I'm here if you need to talk.
Of course. Thank you. And she gets up.
I know how traveling with a bunch of boys can be. If you need anything.
She just nods and she glances at her, looks her in the eye and then glances away. Thank you. And then she looks down at Arua and she was she's like, almost like goes to like, not like touch her, like that's just creepy. Like, you know how you would like, yeah, exactly. Like, good
Good baby.
good baby. I almost said like petting it like a dog.
Yeah.
You know?
It do be like that. It do be like
Yeah.
that.
It's like, but she won't actually touch her. She's like, yep. And she's gonna take her plate because it's empty now, and she's gonna go to the bar and like deposit the plate there and be like, Jesus.
Sia
equivalent.
takes your plate and looks to you and goes, "That was awkward."
God almighty. Alright, so by the dragon.
You know, and she like pulls a glass down and bloop, 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 and slides it across to you. Just says, "Just for the road."
And she'll take the shot. I do have a question for you before I leave.
Yes.
And she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out that indulgence.
Yeah.
How long have you had this?
Couple days. The Sentry of Reconciliators dropped it off here.
Okay. So they know.
They know
About the poster. They know about the warrant, I guess.
Oh,
Whatever.
yes. The Reconciliators in Samora would know.
Did they say anything?
Nothing outside the ordinary. They tried to employ some scare tactics. I told them to get out. And they marched on to Samora. I didn't expect to see you. I'll be honest.
Oh, I didn't expect to see this. And she folds it back up, sticks it back in her pocket.
Your siblings were not amongst them.
Yeah,
If that helps at all.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've
If I see them, I will try to send word.
Yeah, they tried communicating with me before, but I feel like that was at a different point before this came to light. I don't know. She just takes a deep breath and like she'll do this shot again, even though it's empty, the glass is empty, and like just get like the few last drops out of it.
Mm-hmm. You know, dear, I feel like I came on a little strong. I have to protect my domain.
I feel like that's your shtick.
She grabs the bottle again and just sort of puts it on the counter. For the road.
The whole bottle?
The whole bottle, yeah.
Okay, yeah, she'll take it.
And
she will...
Good.
This is another really awkward thing. She's gonna like, she'll take it and like drag it off the counter and like turn. And then stop. And she's gonna reach into her pocket. And then she'll be like, thank you for your hospitality. And she's gonna drop like 3 moons on the counter.
She smiles, and like you can tell there was no need for that. But she smiles and she does like the, okay, all right, dear, and like brushes it off. And she goes, best of luck on your journey. And you hear like the clink, 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 of the coins dropping on stone. And she says, and as is always true, anyone who stays here is safe.
She just nods. Thank you.
Good luck.
And then you too. And she turns and walks away.
It's like when a waiter's like, enjoy your meal, and you're like, same to you. Fuck.
Yeah.
No.
Enjoy the movie. Thanks, you too.
Thanks, you too. Son of a bitch. You awkwardly leave the bar in a whole new state of awkwardness. As red as Mina was. Korax, what are you doing?
Korax probably arrives as Antares is leaving. Walks in, sees Stephanie and Dreschen at a table, diverts himself to the bar, sits down and says, "Thank you very much for last night. It's very enlightening.
I
Learned a lot.
agree.
They learned so much. Some of that stuff that Talban should have taught me, but he didn't. But I learned it here. And now I know any god will do. That's interesting. But it was fun. And now you know about all the problems that are in the world.
Yeah. And mostly it's you guys. I mean, they're mostly focused on you guys.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
And he leans in. I don't think the Night Beast is specifically after us. It kind of generally just destroys everything.
Right.
From what I've read, at least.
Well, I'm always curious to know more. I think having more information is half the battle. I think if you know things before they happen, it's very useful to stop things from happening. So if you find anything else out, feel free to let me know.
I hope to not have to pass through here again, but if I do, I'll let you know.
You're always welcome to just come here and go back. You don't have to keep going.
Yeah, but it's still within the Nightlands.
Ah, understood. Well,
and I try to stand on a hill and see the sun, but you can't even see the sun from here. It's depressing.
It is as if it's supernatural.
Blaming the god of the moon.
I don't know if he's a moon god, but
the god who lives on the moon? Is that better?
I don't know that I am very concerned with that information. 12 is a lot. Anyway, if you find out any more about that, please do let me know. I would be very curious. And I will pass your letter on to Telbin if I see him. And I hope that young man's sister doesn't find him. At least not alone.
Hey, we can try and keep him safe. It'll be fun. I'm just glad she's not after me.
I don't reckon she knows you.
That's good.
She didn't name names, but she said some harsh. She had some harsh words.
I mean, Mina's like pure goodness wrapped in excessive honesty.
It's the most accurate description of that character. Well, I didn't know him at the time, but I don't know if I would say that his sister is his opposite. But he definitely took a different path in life.
And she doesn't look like him, so I can't even look for a girl version of him and know that's her. And
if you squint and kind of cock your head a little bit, they have similar features, but no.
It's gonna be fun. To Samora, where there's loads of reconciliators, a godling with multiple nimbuses or something.
Yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah. And hopefully no one dies.
Most of all that, I hope no one
mean,
dies.
if people have to die, at least let it be not one of us.
Right. Well, as I said to everyone else, best of luck. And if you need anything, everyone is safe in here.
It does look safe.
Thank you.
And he digs in his pockets and he pulls out the coins that he stole off the guy in
Yeah.
he took off of the gentleman in Old Nemro,
Yeah.
puts it on the counter. It says, if you see someone who's needing of this, I wasn't able to return it to its rightful owner. Distribute it to someone who may need it.
I will. Thank you. And you see her take that and like open it, and you hear like clink, clink, clink of 3 random coins added to that thing as she puts it down.
He stands up, does a small bow to her and says, thank you very much. And we'll see you soon.
Here's hoping. And you see her like start to walk out towards like the kitchen area. And as you leave, she re-enters the tavern and brings a large plate over towards where Seydlitz is and just sort of puts another plate down next to him. And she just, having seen your conversation before, or your conversation skills, she just sort of puts a big hand on your back and she says, "Good luck, sir." And sort of like nudges the plate towards you.
Luck is something that I never have.
I feel as though you're going to need it.
I do too, especially if to handle my brother-in-law.
He'll be fine. Once he gets
Has he
in
given
sight.
you a time of when we're departure?
He didn't, but it sounds as though they're ready when everyone else is ready to go. I think the caravan's done.
Well, I'm ready.
Well, for the road. And she like nudges the plate towards you. And the roadhouse is here for anyone that needs it.
I'm fine. I don't need anything. Give it to someone else.
Understood. And she like takes the plate back and again like sort of clumsily pats your back and says, "We all need something." As she heads towards the bar and into the kitchen room, leaving you here as Dresh and Stephanie kind of scoop Arua and they like give you a nod and they head out. You are the only person left in Sia's Roadhouse, as far as you can tell. And the sounds of the final caravan or the final movements of the caravan are, flowing through the door. What are you doing?
Time to go see if it's time to go. Seydlitz gets up, walks out, and he's looking for Fernand. He's kind of shouting for Fernand. It's like, where is he?
You see that Fernand is standing. There's like a rope ladder is like hooked to the side of his barrel top wagon, and he is on top of the wagon, and you can see that he's like directing things as people like re-strap things down to the caravan, load some of the things they took out to like sleep on, and he seems to be like conducting a symphony of luggage as he is getting his caravan underway, and he looks down at you as you leave, and sort of like waves. And says, "Are we ready to leave?"
Whenever you are.
He looks to the other side. "Wexy, let's get this caravan moving." And you hear like a "aye" from the other side of it. And all of the guards like finish putting their final things on, and they all form up on the sides of this. You see half of them climb inside the back wagon. Stephanie, Dresh, and climb in there. A hand comes out to like sort of scoop Korax into it. Or like give him a hand up. And Wexy resumes her place at the front of the caravan. And the caravan starts to, like the animal at the front of the caravan starts to like take a few steps forward. What are the 4 of you doing?
So Fernand, have you gotten over your nerves?
Oh, absolutely not. As he's like climbing down the steps. I just want to get back into the sun. And the safety of the city, and I think it will be some time before I trade back to Corso. I might stay in the RuneScape for some time.
Well, if you do, you might be seeing more of me and Korax.
Great.
Apparently they were apparently talking last night. Apparently they're from the RuneScape.
There's other caravans in Samora.
There's other runescapes.
I think I'll stick to the holdfasts for now. If they need to go, there's other. They'll find some other means of travel. It's fine.
Well, I wish you luck. Since I might as well wish it to you now, then before you depart, because I don't know if I'll see you.
Well, you'll be in the caravan. We still
Well,
have a.
I'll be there when you get to Samora, but beyond that, I don't know when I'll see you. So I'll wish you luck now before I don't get a chance again.
Well, I appreciate that. Are you riding with me? Any motions to like the wagon?
If you want.
Sure. He rode here most of the way. And he throws open the wooden door and climbs in and allows you to climb in as well. What are the rest of you doing?
So they're climbing into the covered wagon, like where Stephanie and Arua are?
No, they have a barrel-topped wagon.
Oh, okay.
The one like with like the wooden frame on it. You guys are in like a covered like Oregon
Open
Trail
air.
wagon.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay. So Arua and Stephanie are in one of them. There's a couple of guards in that one as well. The rest of you are, as of yet, outside the caravan. What are you doing?
I think she's gonna take up walking closer to where Stephanie and Dresden are.
Okay. Mina
just
Korax?
forms up with the other guards.
Okay. And Korax?
Korax climbs into the back of the covered wagon.
It's safe there.
I mean,
cool.
why walk if you can catch a caravan?
She has her cloak up and her hood.
Perfect. Yeah, a hand comes out to pull Korax up, and the carriage gets underway. Much like your journey to Sia's Roadhouse, the journey out is in itself fairly uneventful. Surrounded by guards, there's a couple of shift changes back and forth. Mina is relieved, jumps in the caravan, other guards jump out, and you travel for hours. It feels like a day. It feels like about a day of travel. Again, Korax still isn't used to telling the time here. But you begin to see like a strange light on the horizon. It's not like you would expect to see, well, some of you would expect to see like darkness ends and then there's sun. What you see instead is like this bright orangey pink light, just sort of brightly coming straight at you guys. The whole horizon is still dark. And this is for all of you, I believe, the first time you've seen dusk from inside the Nightlands. So outside of the shadow of Nod, the sun is setting. And so you have this very strange, everything is black, and then you see this bright orange pink line across the horizon, just beaming out towards you. And you can see as you get closer and closer, there's a distinct difference between the darkness that is falling on the RuneScape and the darkness that you are leaving. It's like Vanta black to dark blue. You see stars. Like Antares, this is the first time you're like seeing stars. You see little pinpricks of light in the sky, as the rest of you kind of have that relief of like, oh, this is regular night time. As you are headed towards the city of Samora. You get there, and the gates are open, and you can still see, like, there is the dark shadow of Nod that extends through, like, about half of this city, like, literally cutting it in half. And you can hear loud noises. Like, it's a calamity in here. There's shouts and banging on things and, like, screams and, like, cheers, and it's, like, a very weird cacophony of noises. But no one around you seems to be worried about it. As you guys pull in on the caravan, the noise gets louder and louder and louder, and you hear like boom, 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 boom. On drums, you can hear like musical instruments happening. For Antares, this is very strange to happen. And the caravan lurches to a halt. And you see the guards start to pile out of this thing. One of them like drops the backside for Corex to slide out and for Stephanie and Dreschen to slide out. And you see that they are not like abandoning the caravan, but they are walking towards the front of the caravan. And you guys can see on the front side, there's just a throng of people, like dozens, hundreds of people possibly, as you walk out. And you can see that down the center of the city, going like east to west, there is a distinct line of where Nod falls and where everything else falls. And there is a massive parade. There is like drums happening. There's like there's like people of all races, the Terran. There are like drummers, buglers, like tambourines, all kinds of revelry dancing, fire breathing. There's this massive parade that stretches on for quite a while. And you see it marching down this main road of this, and people are just cheering as it goes. Again, Antares, you've never seen anything like that. You've seen celebrations and festivals, but like that just seems excessive. And everyone else seems to be, this is completely normal, sort of thing. What are the four of you, especially Antares, doing? Seydlitz.
You know what, Fernand? You know what? Feels good to be home.
He looks at you and says, it does. It's good to hear the parade.
I think Antares, she has her hand on her sword, like on the hilt, and she is probably feeling a lot of anxiety right now. Yeah, and she's looking around like, what the? Like, there's confusion, lots of confusion, disbelief, and yeah, she is anxious as fuck right now.
Okay. No one else around, like none of the guards seem to be anxious at all. Everyone seems to be just enjoying this. Corax and Mina, you will have seen this before. Seydlitz, this is every day for you. Every night there's a parade. It's completely normal here to celebrate the sun and the moon and not being in Nod. So this is like this is completely normal for you. Corax and Mina, you may have seen it a couple times when you were staying here. Mina, you were here for months, so you kind of gotten used to this as well. But how are you two reacting to this?
Mina's surprisingly enjoying it. He's kind of clapping along. It's probably the relief of getting here and the festival itself is kind of making him feel a bit safer and a bit more looking to celebrate.
Okay, Corax.
Corax, before the cart pulled up into the city, he pulled his hood up to sort of cover his hair. And once he got into town, jumps out of the cart once it stops. Looks back to Antares. Wasn't Terry still walking, or was she in the cart?
No, she walked.
She walked. He looks towards Antares, and just sort of stops for a second, realizing that she has never been in Samora, and walks towards her and stops and says, "This is weird but normal here." And he looks around. I don't see any reconciliators yet, but I would prefer to get off the streets.
Yeah, she still has her hood up, and it's like a low hood, so like it's covering like down to her eyes a little bit. Yeah, and you can tell she's breathing heavily.
Dreschen walks over. You can see that like Seydlitz is towards the front of the carts, standing with Fernand, just watching the parade. Mina is probably standing towards the front of the carts with Wexy watching the parade. And Dreschen walks over to the two of you, and you can see that he's like bundled his cloak a little bit closer, and he says, I think it's best if we find a safe place to stay. If you don't have any place here, I know of a place.
That'll do. Anything but on the streets right now.
Yeah,
don't
she
believe you.
pulls her hood down more and kind of like ducks down and stands closer to the wagon.
I stay here. I'll grab the other two. And he walks off, and he'll approach Seydlitz first and say, "Sir, we should get the baby off the street. I have a place we can go, if you're willing."
Go on without me. I have my own family here, so I'm gonna go to them.
Okay. How will we find you?
There's a seamstress along the marketplace. Her name is Nimi. You can find me there. If you need me, ask her. She'll
Okay.
send for me.
Great. If you need us, he like looks around and he points the temple. And you see that he's pointing directly at the Temple of Adherence. And he sort of nods to you, and he cuts around behind the barrel-topped caravan, or the barrel-topped wagon. Sir, Mina, we should get off the street. We should take the child off the street.
Mina, who's kind of been enjoying himself, kind of crashes back to reality a little bit. Yeah, and say, yeah, you're right. And he'll turn to Wexy and give her a quick salute. And then grasp wrists with her, and he says, I'll keep in touch.
I don't plan on leaving anytime soon, so you know where to find me.
Yes, thank you. And he'll just head off with Dresh.
The camera lingers as she watches you walk away, just to add some heartbreak. You join up with everybody and notice that Seydlitz is missing. Dresden says, "Okay, if we stay to the back roads, if we stay behind the parade, we should make it. But we should move quick."
If you look over to Anteri, she's almost like she's got like a hand, and she's like leaning on the like the wheel of one of the caravans, and she's just like taking deep breaths.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, let's get going.
Okay. This way. And you.
I also.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I also assume the temperature is a lot warmer here because in the Nightlands it's constantly like very cold.
So you're in a weird influx right now. So like it's warmer here. You're still in the shadow of Nod, right where you are now. Like this. So if the city were like, let's say the city were a circle, the main road runs straight through the city, and the shadow of Nod literally cuts that road in half. Okay, so half of the city is always in the shadow of Nod, and the other half of the city is in normal night or the light of Avi. So it's definitely warmer here because the heat sort of comes under like under a door kind of thing. But it's still a little chilly. And so he kind of he grabs Stephanie's arm or starts to lead her, and he motions to you guys, come on, please, this way. And he begins to lead all of you, again, absent Seydlitz. He begins to lead all of you towards an alleyway behind the parade. So there's a bunch of people blocking your view. And you see him pull up a hood as well. And he looks at Stephanie, and she sort of pulls up her cowl as well. As he begins heading you, weaving in and around little back roads and alleyways. And over little small fences that would have cut off an alleyway. And before you know it, you are in the Temple District. There are grand cathedrals and garden shrines and small little chapels, and this whole area was, you would imagine, an entire district dedicated to various gods. A lot of it has been repurposed. A lot of it has been rebuilt. A lot of it has different uses. And he looks around and begins to walk towards one of the temples. And you can see, Corax, that this is a temple to Xenia. This is a refurbished temple to Xenia. And he walks around, you see him walk to the front door, and then he walks around the side to a smaller door and sort of knocks on that door. And you see the old school, the thing slides across, it slides back after like a few words are exchanged, and then the door opens and he nods back to the alleyway and like waves you all forward.
She's looking around and very, very like fidgety, very nervous. She does not belong here in this, especially the place, the temple district filled with heathens, and yeah, she's visibly struggling right now. I guess she's not really paying attention where she's being led.
Mhm.
She's kind of like she's like following behind everybody almost. But yeah,
Okay.
she's like eyes wide and like just looking around.
Okay. There's not a whole lot going on right now. The parade lasts for some time, so most of the streets are kind of cleared. They're all like on the main road, which is called Avi's Road. But Dresden still is looking around for other people, but you get let in. And the woman on the other side of the door is completely unassuming. She's in rather plain clothing, hair cut in a bob, and she has no visible signs of being anything. And she nods to him and lets you all in, and she says, excuse me, you are free to stay here for the night. Dresden has told us your plight. We can give you room and board here. And she like motions towards a door as she walks in, and you see that there is like a barracks style door or a barracks style room. And it's like bunk beds, just like bunk bed. It's like maybe 5 feet of space between the two of them, and small like chests at the bottom for your goods. She says, you are permitted here and the main temple and nowhere else.
And when she says main temple, she kind of she has her head down the whole time, so like this woman isn't seeing her face. But when she says main temple, she doesn't like look up, exposing herself, but that catches her as a temple. Like, where the hell? And she's thinking that's like, where the hell are we?
You realize that you're in a church. As you kind of like look up a little bit, like you can see like there's like runner carpets, there's like, sitting areas, like everything is a lot of it's actually like if Sia's Roadhouse were a church, this is so Korax would know this is Xenia, the Earthshaker. She is a goddess of Earth, and everything here is very earthen. The ground isn't like flagstone; it's just dirt. It's just the ground. The benches are made out of stones. Everything seems to be very like earth-based, but clean. And so she says, yeah, you're permitted here, meaning the barracks hall, and the main temple. You won't be permitted anywhere else. If that's acceptable, then you can stay here.
She doesn't respond.
So this was a temple to Xenia. Is there anything of the original altar and that sort of stuff within this? Where we can see from where we are in this temple?
All of it.
So we can see all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. Korax looks to her and says, the house of Xenia. I haven't had a chance to visit. Am I allowed to at least
As
look
I said,
around here?
You are permitted to the main temple, which is where you are now, and the barracks. Anything beyond that, I can't let you.
That's enough to keep me happy for tonight.
If there's nothing else, you'll find comfortable stay here. And she motions towards the barracks. Dresden like nods and he says, "We'll be safe here. I have to go in." And he motions to like another door that is not the barracks. But you'll be safe here.
Mina nods and just collects Stephanie and Rurua and heads towards the barracks.
As you leave, Dreshen looks at Antares and how uncomfortable she is, and realizes that he can't do anything to her because she's scary. And he walks over to Korax and says, "Sir, if you are interested, you could be permitted to go further."
This is something I may be interested in, but
This is this is the temple of the adherents.
oh. So to go further, I must do what exactly?
Join in an official capacity. There is a rite. I understand
This
that
is
you were taught. Perhaps your parents were members, but if you haven't taken the rite, then you are not.
This is where you said we have to tell the truth, and as long as the truth is good enough.
That is correct.
I would have to think on it.
Okay.
Sia gave me a lot to think about in her strange wisdom.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I understand. It is a decision. Until then, and he motions to the temple. Please explore this area until you're satisfied. You should be safe here, and there. I can't make any claims for the city itself.
Well, we can see the sunlight through the windows, and that would be enough to ward off the hell that was the Nightlands.
I hope so. I must take my leave. I have to check in. And he turns and heads towards a door opposite where you guys are. And you see him reach into the folds of his clothes, and he pulls out something, and you see him slide it towards the door, and the door opens. And he is gone. He's in the door closes behind him, leaving you and the semi-nauseous Antares in this temple as Mina takes Stephanie and the baby into the barracks room.
As he's walking away, probably can hear because it's an empty room, Korax turns to Antares and says, "That's probably the most useful. This is probably the most useful thing he's done since I've met him."
Wow.
She doesn't really say anything. So they're in a main temple room.
Yeah, imagine you walked into church.
Okay.
Yeah.
She will turn and follow Mina and the girls.
Okay. Korax, you are alone in the temple. What are you doing?
Korax, so in my mind, it's probably stained glass windows. Depicting things that Xenia did, or stories that Xenia was.
Yeah, caverns, mountains, like a Grand Canyon-esque kind of thing, parting the land, that kind of stuff.
Korax is going through, if there's any sort of plaques of things that have happened and stories, he's going through and he's looking at all of them, reading them. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to a really old church and you just walk around and it's like a museum.
Yep.
He's reading everything that is in the entire place.
Okay.
And he would probably end with a prayer at the altar to Xenia.
Okay.
Listening out to hear if he hears anything back.
Okay.
His faith may be shaken.
Roll me. No, you know what? Here's your homework. I would like to know what that prayer is before the start of the next episode, and that's how we'll open on it. And then we'll determine what you hear, if anything. However, as Antares, Mina, Stephanie, and the baby settle into their new barracks accommodations, we cut across town as the barrel-topped caravan wends its way through the now opening streets, and you are brought to a small but nice house. Seydlitz, you're home. What are you doing?
He's thinking about what time it is to make sure he doesn't want to. As like, are the people inside still awake?
It is dusk. So the parade happens. You would know the parade happens at sunrise and sunset. So it's probably like equivalent to like 6 or 7 in the afternoon at night. So everyone would still be
Fernand is
awake.
with me, right?
Correct.
Do you want to go in first, or do you want me to? It's your home.
I'll let you do the honors. They didn't know I was returning with you. They just knew that you needed help.
He's gonna walk up to the door and give 3 little knocks to the back of his hand.
You hear a woman's voice from inside. Come in.
I shall do so. So
You hear a glass break from inside, followed by a dainty cuss. As you open the door, and you see standing there is your sister, who looks mouth agape at you. What are you doing here?
I'm home. Is that a problem?
No, when we got your letter, it said you needed assistance. And you never ask for anything.
I just had a group that needed a lift back. Got in a bit of trouble, but as long as we made it here, they should be fine now.
Is everything okay?
For the most part.
She looks past you. I'm gonna roll dice in a game that the GM doesn't have to roll dice for.
For Captain Poker Face over there.
Holy shit! Okay.
Oh
Cool. So
no!
what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say that's a GM intrusion. Seydlitz, Matt, I'm gonna give you a GM intrusion. You can take 1 XP and you can give 1 away, or you can spend 1 XP to stop this from happening.
And Terry's, you're up.
Perfect. You got an XP. She looks past you, and you kind of follow. Like you see her face change to like annoyance, and then you follow her gaze, and Fernand is doing everything he can do to not look her in the eye. He has the worst poker face ever. He's like kicking at the carpet. He's checking the door frame to make sure the house is sturdy. He's counting coins. He's doing every avoidance tactic there is. And your sister, though excited to see you, dismisses you entirely, and she leans over and says, Fernand, what happened? And he looks up wide-eyed, like he saw her for the first time, looks at you and says, Man,
close the door.
I'm going to go take care of the cart. And he steps outside and closes the door behind him. And your sister looks at you and says, that man! Seydlitz.
Nothing gets past you, does it, Selena?
What happened?
Well... And Seydlitz is going to turn on the Nimbus for only Divine to see at the moment. And that's it.
Well, what?
Well, at least that's a good sign.
What's a good sign?
Where are the kids?
They're in their room getting ready for bed.
Well, a lot's happened. Got mixed in with a group of divines.
Divine what?
People.
Like priests?
No, godlings, as I think they're called.
Why?
It's just who I ended up traveling with. I got caught into it.
Why?
I am trying to deceive the crap out of her.
Yeah, you sure are. You sure are. You haven't said a lie. I mean, you technically haven't said a lie yet, so I'm not going to make you roll for it. But she is inquiring as to why you got swept up in this.
I was sitting in a bar in Corso. Some madman came in, pointing out people who was like saying something about redeemers of the Afterworld. And it's just like, well, he paid me, so
He paid you, so what? What did you do?
he was paying me for a job. I did the job. Keep blew up. A bunch of stuff happened.
And the other people were divine?
Apparently,
So why were you hired?
beats me.
Now you can roll deception. Roll me an intelligence difficulty 3.
I am doing my.
Okay.
That's an 11.
You just beat that. She looks to you, and she, like, her eyes go small as she is, like, scanning you. She is looking over every twitch of a muscle. You know, like a hunter stalking a deer. She just looks at you, and she says, keep your secrets. Children! And you hear, like, noise, and you hear, like, a background noise that was just happening stop. And she's, come see who's here. And you hear of feet, little feet running downstairs. And you see your niece and nephew. A 14-year-old and an 11-year-old stop at the stairs. The Deluc stands there at the bottom of the stairs. Amy sort of bumps into him at the end. And you see Deluc look at you, and Amy peek around. Who is it? And they both see you. And they, Uncle Seydlitz! And they run towards you and sort of like tackle you around the midsection. And Amy is tackling at your leg and upper thigh. As you kind of have to like drag them as you walk into the house.
How are my two favorite munchkins?
We're great. What did you bring us?
Oh no, I forgot the souvenirs.
Oh, that's okay. It's
I
fine.
apologize. Maybe next time.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to. It's fine. It was, you know, it was only like a month that you were gone.
Oh, are you guilt tripping me now?
No. And you see Deluc like looks to his mom, and his mom like nods. No, it's just every other time that you go out, you bring something back, and you know, you said that you would when you came back, but it's okay that you didn't.
Seydlitz kneels down and kind of hits Tats to look on his shoulders like, oh, I'm sorry. Lots happened, so been too busy dealing with all this stuff to bring anything back.
No, it's okay. We understand. And he lets go, and he says, Mom has leftovers.
I'm fine.
Okay. We have to get ready for bed, Mom said, but in the morning, can you tell us about all your stories?
I promise.
Yeah. And he like gets off and he says, okay, hey, come on. And he like playfully like whacks at Amy, who is still like on your thigh. And she like gets, stop it, get off of me. And she lets go and looks up at you and she goes, oh, what's that? And that's where we end this episode of The Rise.
Oh no.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh no!
dun, dun.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Get
Love it.
wrecked.
Bop, bop,
Shit.
bop, 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 ba, da.
The fact
Ah,
I
that's
actually
it.
saw that coming.
That's
She's just looking
I
at the
was half
ceiling.
expecting that.
That's where we go with this episode. Thank you for that corruption bar. I wanted to get that out of here as soon as possible. So that was a good way to end on that. So let's go around, do our introduction so we can talk about this episode in our after show. And if you guys want access to that after show, it is available on Patreon with all the other after shows we do for all the other shows we have on the channel. Go check that out. It's the best way to support the channel. And while you're down there, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. But for now, let's go around. We'll start with Chris. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
I'm Chris, aka Necro. You can only find me in the Discord. I am also taking part in Atari Twilight Twist of Fate, which we haven't got a date for the next episode. Hopefully soon. One shot and this Patreon campaign, and that is it. Nowhere else on the internet.
Hell yeah. Let's jump over to G. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm G, your friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You can find me as Lightning Invoker on Twitch and in the Discord. And you can follow me on Twitter at LightningsPaz09. And like Chris, I am in the Atari Twilight Twist of Fate game and everything else unMadeGaming for Patreon.
Hell yeah. Matt, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Matt, better known as D. You find me here in the One Shots and on the Rise campaign and in Mike's Discord. And that's about it.
Perfect. And last but not least, Norm,
Up to
who
the
are you?
Patreon.
Oh, that's true. Norm, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
I'm Norm or Snow, and you can just find me here or in the Discord exposing everyone's secrets.
That's true. That's true. He is the exposer of secrets. So that's gonna be it for us, guys. We will see you next. Actually, it's is it next month? I guess it's technically next month for more Rise. You got a little bonus episode today. I can't wait to see what this reveals for everyone. A lot of backstory dumps here. A lot of interesting dumps here. I'm watching one of my players edit their backstory right now, live. So we're gonna get out of here. We will see you next time for more of this show. For now, we're gonna do our after show again. If you guys want that, Patreon down below. All kinds of fun behind the scenes stuff and more new things to come. So check that out. So from all of us, you guys, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.